big topic. And I want to begin by setting up this question to go back to December 2015. At that time, there's a well-known Christian university in the United States called Wheaton College. And there's a professor named Larisha Hawkins. And at the time, she posted something online. She wrote, "As Pope Francis stated last week, we, that is Christians and Muslims, worship the same God." And that statement created something of a firestorm of controversy 3-some years ago. And actually, she ended up losing her job at Wheaton College. But the statement, I want to use that statement as a launching point for conversation. But rather than focus on the word worship, I want to take a more general and modest question. When Christians and Muslims refer to God or Allah, are they referring to the same being? Some people say, no, they're not even referring to the same being. So I wanted to hear what your position on that is. And one reason is because if you were to say, no, we're not even referring to the same being, then anything else we're going to say about the nature of God is talking past one another, right? Because we're talking about different beings. So it's a good question to launch us into a conversation on God's nature. So who would like to jump in? Are we referring to the same being when we refer to God, Christians and Muslims?
For sure, we refer to the same God, and even if I'm gonna just give a textual reference, in the Quran we have the term the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as we have in the Hebrew Bible, and for the same reason in the New Testament. So based on the texts and actually the scriptures, we have no doubt that there is only one God, and all people are talking about one God. And also we can support this by some theological, philosophical arguments to show that there could not be more than one necessary being, if you want to talk philosophically. And although people might think about that being differently, might have different understandings, might have different sorts of worship, different sorts of relationship between human and God, but still that being, that necessary being, is one and the same for all people.
In the Bible, in Acts chapter 2, it talks about when the Holy Spirit came. As Christians, we refer to this as the Pentecost. And there were Arabs at the Pentecost. The Arabic word for God has always been Allah. So this is not just a Muslim word. This is the word for the one and only God in Arabic. This is the word in every Bible in Arabic. God is Allah. I think that's really important for us Christians to remember, because if we start denying that, we are denying a 2,000-year heritage of Arabic believers. I have spent a lot of time with Arabs over the last 20 years. I know a number of people who have once believed in Islam and now identify as Christians. And when I have ever posed this question, not once have I ever heard anyone say that they switched gods. That is never the way anyone has ever referred to that. The answer has always been more of a 1 Corinthians 13, I used to see God dimly, but now I see him clearly as face to face. That what I knew before wasn't making sense. And now God is up close and personal, and I know him. The fundamental difference in who is God is what you do with Jesus Christ. But Allah is like our English word for God, and we have one God.